So in this video, I am going to talk about the fatty acid synthesis. Actually, fatty acid synthesis, it is a subtopic of lipid metabolism. When I am talking about the fatty acid synthesis, so first of all, I am discussing just some few key points. Each and every points which I am now going to discuss is a MCQ. Okay, so when I am talking about the fatty acid synthesis, here you can see the fatty acid synthesis. First of all, the fatty acid synthesis, it is a cytosolic process, or you can say also it is a extra mitochondrial process. So what I told that the fatty acid synthesis, first point about the fatty acid synthesis is a cytosolic process, or you can say it that extra mitochondrial process. Okay, next point, the precursor of fatty acid synthesis. To synthesize your fatty acid, acetyl CoA, 2 carbon acetyl CoA compound, 2 carbon compound acetyl CoA is needed. Not only acetyl CoA, there is also another compound which is 3 carbon compound. This is your malonyl CoA is also needed. So these two things are the precursor of your fatty acid synthesis. For the actually the fatty acid synthesis, it is a cyclical process. Okay, cyclical, and there is a repetition of single step or repetition of one step. You can see the repetition process here. For the first step of fatty acid synthesis, your acetyl CoA is needed, and also malonyl CoA is also needed for the first step. But from the second step, acetyl CoA is not needed now. Only the malonyl CoA is needed from the second step. When I am talking about the fatty acid synthesis, so I told that fatty acid synthesis is a cytosolic process. Now this is the cell organelle, and when if I am going to talk about the which organ, then it is your liver. Major site of fatty acid synthesis is liver. Not only liver, and also adipose tissue and mammary gland, especially the lactating mammary gland, and brain, lungs, etc. So this is about the some few key points of fatty acid synthesis. When I am talking about the fatty acid synthesis is a cytosolic process. Acetyl CoA and malonyl CoA is needed for fatty acid synthesis. Not only acetyl CoA, malonyl CoA, there is also NADPH is also needed for your fatty acid synthesis. Site of fatty acid synthesis, it is your liver. Not only liver, adipose tissue, mammary gland, brain and lungs. But liver is the major site of fatty acid synthesis. When I am talking about the fatty acid synthesis, there is many enzymes are present in this pathway, fatty acid synthesis pathway, but the rate limiting enzyme for fatty acid synthesis pathway is your acetyl CoA carboxylase. So acetyl CoA carboxylase, it is the rate limiting enzyme for your fatty acid synthesis. Okay, so this is about the some few points about fatty acid synthesis. Okay, so the fatty acid synthesis, this is a cyclical process, or there is, you can see several repetition of the steps. Okay, so this is a cyclical process. When I am talking about the fatty acid synthesis, you can see initially with the enzyme fatty acid synthase complex, your 2 carbon acetyl CoA is added, and also your malonyl CoA is also added. From the next step, only malonyl CoA is added. Okay, I will tell these things on the same topic, fatty acid synthesis, but on another session separately on the fatty acid synthase complex. Okay, in this cyclical process, after the each and every step, you can see addition of 2 carbon in elongating fatty acid chain at the end of each cycle. Okay, at the end of each cycle, you can see two carbons are added in the new elongating fatty acid chain. When I am talking about the fatty acid, the same fatty acid which is stored in your adipose tissue mainly as triacyl glycerol or TAG, triglyceride. When the fatty acid will synthesized in your cell, it is in your well fed state. Well fed state mean high amount of glucose in your blood, and when high amount of glucose present in your blood, then the hormone insulin activates and starts its working. Insulin, it is helping in your fatty acid synthesis, cholesterol synthesis, thiacylglycerol synthesis. That's why insulin is also called your lipogenic hormone. Okay, so insulin activates fatty acid synthesis, cholesterol synthesis, and triglyceride synthesis. That's why insulin is also called your lipogenic hormone, helping in generation of lipid. So the conditions of fatty acid synthesis, this is your well fed state when the body has the high amount of energy currency or ATP. Okay, so this fatty acid synthesis is facilitated by your insulin hormone, and you can I want to add one thing here, additional thing. The most common fatty acid which is synthesized in our body, it is your 16 carbon palmitic acid. So 16 carbon palmitic acid is the most common fatty acid synthesized in our body. So what I told, that fatty acid, it is synthesized in your liver, not only liver, adipose tissue, mammary gland, brain, lungs. It is mitochondrial process or extra mitochondrial process. This is your extra mitochondrial process, that means cytosolic process. For the synthesis of fatty acid, your acetyl CoA is needed, malonyl CoA needed. Not only acetyl CoA, malonyl CoA, NADPH is also needed. After the synthesis of fatty acid, it is stored at your adipose tissue mainly in the form of triacylglycerol or triglyceride. Fatty acid, when it reacts with glycerol molecule, it's converted into triacylglycerol or triglyceride. When at which state your fatty acid is synthesized in your body? In well fed state. Okay, when your blood has high amount of glucose at this state and high amount of ATP, your fatty acid is synthesized in your body, obviously in presence of insulin. I told these things. Insulin, it is helping in synthesis of fatty acid. Not only fatty acid, it is also helps in synthesis of cholesterol and triglyceride, triacylglycerol. Okay, that's why insulin is the hormone which is called your lipogenic hormone. The most common fatty acid which is synthesized in your body is 16 carbon palmitic acid. I told these things here. Now let's discuss how this acetyl CoA, malonyl CoA, and NADPH is coming, or they are diverting toward the fatty acid synthesis. Okay, so before this discussion, just I want to add here, I told the rate limiting enzyme for fatty acid synthesis is your acetyl CoA carboxylase. But another important enzyme for fatty acid synthesis is your fatty acid synthase complex. Fatty acid synthase complex, you can see this thing here, fatty acid synthase complex. Okay, so the acetyl CoA or malonyl CoA, these precursors of the fatty acids, they are actually attached with the active side of the fatty acid synthase complex, and after 7 steps, your palmitic acid, 16 carbon palmitic acid, is formed after repetition of 7 steps. Sorry, 1 initial step and repetition of 6 steps. Ultimately total 7 steps. Okay, Steps of the fatty acid synthesis is elucidated by your one great scientist. This is Fyodor Lenin. Okay, that's why your fatty acid synthesis is also known as Lenin spiral. This is also known as Lenin spiral. Okay, this is the basic information, fact-based information on the fatty acid synthesis. I told that fatty acid is synthesized from acetyl CoA, 2 carbon, and malonyl CoA, 3 carbon. Acetyl CoA is converted to malonyl CoA after accumulation of 1 carbon dioxide in presence of acetyl CoA carboxylase enzyme, which is the rate limiting enzyme of the fatty acid synthesis pathway. Now, this acetyl CoA is present within the mitochondria of cell. Let's imagine a hepatocyte. Because fatty acid is synthesized mainly at the liver level, let's imagine within a hepatocyte and the cell mitochondria. Within this cell mitochondria, your acetyl CoA is present. But I already told the fatty acid synthesis takes place at the cytosol. So, the mobilization of the acetyl CoA from mitochondria, to cytosol is necessary. Now let's talk about the sources of acetyl CoA and NADPH and malonyl CoA and everything, just the initial introduction about the fatty acid synthesis. Okay. Here you can see one hepatocyte. The whole board is the one hepatocyte, and within this hepatocyte you can see the red colored mitochondria. This is the mitochondria within this cell. In oil-fed state, what happens? High amount of glucose is present in your body. in oil-fed state. This glucose undergoes its oxidation, which is called your glycolysis. In presence of oxygen, this aerobic glycolysis. After this glycolysis, end product of glycolysis, pyruvate, is formed. In oil-fed state, glucose undergoes its oxidation, which is glycolysis, which is a glucose breakdown process, and end product of the glycolysis is your pyruvate. This is a 3 carbon compound. Glucose is 6 carbon compound. Breakdown of glucose into pyruvate, which is 3 carbon compound, that's why 2 molecules of pyruvate is formed. Everybody knows these things. Okay, this pyruvate enters into the mitochondria. This red color structures you can see here, this is the mitochondria. This one is the mitochondria, and this all structures within this cell is your extra mitochondrial structures, which is nothing but your cytoplasm. Now this pyruvate is entered into the mitochondria. It enters into the mitochondria, and this pyruvate is 3 carbon is converted into the acetyl CoA, which is 2 carbon compound. In presence of one very important enzyme, this enzyme is called your pyruvate dehydrogenase complex. Pyruvate dehydrogenase complex is not a single enzyme. It has 3 units and 5 cofactors are needed. I will tell these things later during the glucose oxidation or during the carbohydrate metabolism chapter. What I told, the end product of the glycolysis, pyruvate is formed, and this pyruvate enters within the mitochondria of the hepatocyte or any cell which is organizing this fatty acid synthesis mechanism. This pyruvate is converted into your acetyl CoA, 2 carbon acetyl CoA, in presence of pyruvate dehydrogenase complex molecule. Within the mitochondria, oxaloacetic acid, 4 carbon compound is present. This oxaloacetic acid accepts this acetyl CoA and converted into this citrate. What I told, acetyl CoA is joins oxaloacetic acid and converted into citrate. Oxaloacetic acid 4 carbon compound, acetyl CoA 2 carbon compound. Now if oxygen is present within the cell. What happens? Your TCA cycles runs. Then after TCA cycle, your electron transport chain runs. Now this citrate is entering in the TCA cycle for ATP production or energy production. ATP or energy production. This citrate is converted into isocitrate and then alpha ketoglutarate, and then ultimately oxaloacetic acid, and then further oxaloacetic acid is binds with acetyl CoA. There are many steps in TCA cycles. Okay, not only these steps. Just for this discussion, I am discussing this citrate is converted into isocitrate and entering into the TCA cycle for ATP production. Now, when the mitochondria is enriched with ATP, what happens? More and more ATP present within the mitochondria. Okay. Now this ATP inhibited one enzyme. This enzyme is called your isocitrate dehydrogenase enzyme. You can see ICDH. This is nothing but your isocitrate dehydrogenase enzyme. When more and more ATP is produced through TCL cycle within your mitochondria, this ATP is now inhibited your isocitrate dehydrogenase enzyme. This isocitrate dehydrogenase enzyme is actually converting your isocitrate into alpha ketoglutarate. If this steps is now inhibited, now, you can see these steps is now inhibited, then what happens? Then citrate is not further converted into isocitrate and TCA cycle is not runs now. Then your citrate is accumulated within the cell, within the mitochondria of the cell. The citrate is accumulating within the mitochondria of the cells. This citrate is an important activator of this transporter. This is a transporter which is located on the membrane of the mitochondria. Increased citrate concentration activates this transporter. This transporter is called your TCA transporter or TCA tricarboxylic acid transporter. Also called citrate transporter, and many authors says that citrate shuttle. Okay, so this transporter is activated by the citrate, and after activation of this transporter, now the mitochondrial citrate is transported towards the cytoplasm. Now you can see this citrate is coming from the mitochondria to the cytoplasm. Citrate at cytoplasm. Okay. What I told, for the fatty acid synthesis, acetyl CoA is required. I told these things previously. For the fatty acid synthesis, acetyl CoA is required. Malonyl CoA is required. NADPH is required. But your acetyl CoA, which is synthesized within the mitochondria, is not permeable to the mitochondrial membrane. It is not permeable to the mitochondrial membrane and it unable to reach the cytosol after penetrating the mitochondrial membrane. Okay, that's why this acetyl CoA join with oxaloacetic acid, and then oxaloacetic acid and acetyl CoA collectively form citrate. Citrate can cross this mitochondrial membrane, and this mitochondrial citrate is entering or comes to the cytoplasm now. And now this citrate is further breaks into oxaloacetic acid and acetyl CoA. By this enzyme citrate lyase. So this citrate comes from mitochondria and it is breaks into oxaloacetic acid and acetyl CoA. Now the acetyl CoA which present in the mitochondria, it is now in the cytoplasm. And why the presence of the acetyl CoA at the cytoplasm level is required? Because your fatty acid synthesis is extra mitochondrial process, or fatty acid synthesis takes place at the cytoplasm or extra mitochondrial space, which is cytoplasm. Okay, that's why your acetyl CoA is now present at the cytoplasm. Okay, I will tell the next fate of this acetyl CoA later, but just for a minute, let's talk about this oxaloacetic acid. So this oxaloacetic acid, which is formed after the breakdown of the citrate, this oxaloacetic acid is converted into malate, and this malate is converted into the pyruvate, and this pyruvate is further entering into the mitochondria and further converted into acetyl CoA, and further this cycles runs. Okay, so that's how your this oxaloacetic acid is also re-enter into the mitochondria. So first of all, oxaloacetic acid or oxaloacetate, it's 4-carbon compound. It's converted into malate, which is also 4-carbon compound in presence of malate dehydrogenase. And then this malate is converted into pyruvate, which is 3-carbon compound. This malate is releasing 1 carbon dioxide in presence of malic enzyme, and then converted into pyruvate. This pyruvate entering or re-entering into the mitochondria. One important thing is this: during the conversion of malate into the pyruvate, one NADP plus is converted into NADPH. One NADP plus is converted into this NADPH. I already told for fatty acid synthesis, 3 things are required. Major: acetyl CoA, malonyl CoA, NADPH. So this NADPH is the minor source. This NADPH is the minor source of fatty acid synthesis. Then what is the major source for the NADPH for fatty acid synthesis? This is nothing but your glucose is diverting towards the HMP shunt pathway, and this HMP shunt pathway giving huge amount of NADPH, and this NADPH goes to the fatty acid synthesis. Okay, this NADPH goes to the fatty acid synthesis. These things I told. You can see these things here. Now, what about this acetyl CoA? Acetyl CoA, in presence of acetyl CoA carboxylase enzyme, which is the rate limiting enzyme of the fatty acid synthesis, is converted into malonyl CoA, which is 3-carbon compound. This malonyl CoA goes towards the fatty acid synthesis or entering into the fatty acid synthesis machinery. Okay, so malonyl CoA, acetyl CoA, and NADPH, everything is there for fatty acid synthesis. Okay, now let's how the fatty acid is synthesized, I'll discuss in the next session through the fatty acid synthesis complex. Before ending this session, I want to add something here. This is about the acetyl CoA carboxylase enzyme, which is the rate limiting enzyme of this fatty acid synthesis pathway. Acetyl CoA is 2-carbon compound and malonyl CoA is 3-carbon compound. To convert the acetyl CoA into malonyl CoA, addition of 1 carbon dioxide is required here. The source of this carbon dioxide is your bicarbonate. For the activation of the acetyl CoA carboxylase enzyme, your manganese is required, and biotin is also required, and this step is ATP consuming step. Your carboxylase enzyme is liase group of enzyme. Okay, so this is actually ligating 1 CO2, ligating ligase group of enzyme, and it required biotin. So these cofactors are required here, and from where your CO2 is coming, it is coming from your HCO3 minus bicarbonate ion. This enzyme is also called malonyl CoA synthetase enzyme. Sorry, synthase, or you can say synthetase. Why? Because ATP is used here. Okay, if any biochemical process consuming ATP, then the name of the enzyme is generally synthetase. Okay, in this case you can say both things, synthase or synthetase, same. So what is the regulation of fatty acid synthesis? Regulation of fatty acid synthesis, it is totally hidden on this step, acetyl CoA to malonyl CoA formation. This step, acetyl CoA to malonyl CoA formation. That means the regulation of this enzyme is totally controlling the whole reaction, whole fatty acid synthesis regulation. Regulation of fatty acid synthesis, two types: short term regulation and long term regulation. Short term regulation and long term regulation. You can see these things here. Once again I told these things. Okay, so now let's talk about this regulation. Short term regulation is further allosteric regulation and covalent regulation. So your allosteric regulation, acetyl CoA carboxylase, the rate limiting enzyme of fatty acid synthesis, this is its dimeric form or protomeric form or protomer is inactive. When acetyl CoA carboxylase is in dimeric form, it is inactive, but its active form is polymeric form. This is its active form. In presence of citrate, your dimeric acetyl CoA carboxylase is converted into polymeric acetyl CoA carboxylase, which is the active form of acetyl CoA carboxylase. Polymeric, it is generally addition of 25 to 28 monomer. And in presence of long chain fatty acid, this step is inhibited. Why? Because why this is required? Acetyl CoA carboxylase, it's required due to fatty acid synthesis. But if already the cell is enriched with fatty acid, then no requirement of this fatty acid now. That's why your long chain fatty acid, long chain LCFA, long chain fatty acid is inhibiting this enzyme and also inhibiting this step, the dimer to polymer formation. Okay, but citrate, when the cell has a huge amount of citrate, what happens? This transporter activated and citrate comes into the cytoplasm, breaks into acetyl CoA and oxaloacetic acid, and this acetyl CoA is converted into malonyl CoA, and this malonyl CoA is entering into the fatty acid synthesis pathway. Okay, and this is stimulating this enzyme acetyl CoA to synthesize fatty acid. Okay, what is the covalent modification? When I am talking about the covalent modification, this is nothing but phosphorylation and dephosphorylation of this enzyme acetyl CoA carboxylase. Acetyl CoA carboxylase. If the phosphate group, this phosphorylated state of this enzyme is inactive, the phosphorylated state of this enzyme is inactive, and dephosphorylated state, obviously the dephosphorylated state of this enzyme is active. So phosphorylation of this acetyl CoA carboxylase converted this enzyme into inactive state. Dephosphorylated state of this enzyme is active state. Okay, so let's discuss this thing. When the body state is well fed state, what happens? Huge amount of blood glucose is present at the blood level, and inside the cell ATP level is also high. At this stage, your fatty acid synthesis occurs. If the blood glucose level is high, then what happens? And if the blood glucose level is low, then what happens? Let's discuss these two things here. If the blood glucose level is high, first I am discussing the high blood glucose level, that means well fed state. Then what happens? insulin by glucagon ratio is high because the insulin is the hormone of the well-fed state. That's why the concentration of insulin is high now. This insulin is activates one enzyme which is called your phosphatase enzyme. Phosphatase enzyme. So insulin activates your phosphatase enzyme. This phosphatase enzyme, it is causing what? It is actually activating your acetyl-CoA carboxylase by dephosphorylation of this enzyme. So this phosphatase is actually dephosphorylating enzyme. This phosphatase remove phosphate and activates your acetyl-CoA carboxylase enzyme, which is the rate limiting enzyme of the fatty acid synthesis, and this enzyme is actually converting acetyl-CoA into malonyl-CoA. But if the blood glucose level is low, that means sorry, starvation. During starvation, it may be starvation or diabetic condition also. Blood glucose level is low. The glucagon ratio is high now with respect to insulin. And not only the glucagon, the similarly epinephrine concentration is also now high. Glucagon or epinephrine, they binds with their receptors, which is serpentine receptor. This is look like this, or also called 7-pass receptor, because 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, because this receptor is piercing the cell membrane 7 times. Okay, so glucagon or epinephrine receptor or serpentine receptor, it is related with G stimulatory protein. Okay, this G stimulatory protein activates your adenyl cyclase. What happens? So low blood glucose level, glucagon increases with respect to insulin, and epinephrine also increases. Their receptors is 7-pass receptor or serpentine receptor. This receptor is closely related with G stimulatory protein. G protein coupled receptor. This is also called. This G protein is activating your adenyl cyclase. This adenyl cyclase is converting your ATP into cyclic AMP. Adenyl cyclase is converting your ATP into cyclic AMP. High amount of ATP present in the cell. This high amount of ATP high concentration of ATP is now converted into cyclic AMP. This cyclic AMP activates one enzyme. This is also called your protein kinase enzyme. Any kinase enzyme causes what? Phosphorylation. Okay, so this protein kinase causing phosphorylation of this acetyl-CoA carboxylase. Already told I previously, if acetyl-CoA carboxylase is phosphorylated, it's converted into its inactive form. Okay, so phosphorylation of the acetyl-CoA carboxylase in presence of this protein kinase, or you can say in presence of this glucagon or epinephrine, it inhibits this enzyme, and now no fatty acid synthesis, because less amount of glucose is now in your body. That's why. Okay, also you can see one thing, your AMP kinase also activates this protein kinase. Okay, AMP kinase, when AMP kinase is present within your cell, it indicates that cell is in less energetic state, low energy profile of the cell. It indicates the low energy profile of the cell. Okay, they both are activating protein kinase and ultimately inactivating the acetyl-CoA carboxylase because via phosphorylation. So this is the covalent regulation, covalent modification. And once long-term regulation, I told that the regulation of the fatty acid synthesis is 3. One is your, not 3, 2. One is your short-term regulation, long-term regulation. Within short-term regulation, I told allosteric regulation and covalent modification. Allosteric regulation, I told acetyl-CoA carboxylase is activated by citrate, inactivated by long chain fatty acid. Its dimeric form is inactive, its polymeric form is active. Its dimeric form or inactive form is converted into its polymeric form or active form in presence of citrate. Okay, and long chain fatty acid, it inhibits these steps. Not only these steps, your citrate and long chain fatty acid is also acting on this transporter. Citrate activates this transporter. Which transporter? tricarboxylic acid transporter, and long chain fatty acid inactivates this transporter. Long chain fatty acid inactivates this transporter. Why? Because already in the cytoplasm there is a high amount of fatty acid. Already in the cell the fatty acid content is high. Then there is no need to synthesize the fatty acid. That's why there is no need to for the citrate bypassing from citrate coming from the mitochondria to the cytoplasm. That's why this long chain fatty acid is inhibiting this transporter also. Sorry, I told these things, and during this covalent modification I told about the insulin and glucagon. In high blood sugar level or well fed state, insulin activates phosphatase. Phosphatase is dephosphorylate the acetyl CoA carboxylase and activates this enzyme and causing fatty acid synthesis. And in presence of glucagon, your protein kinase is activated, and this protein kinase causing what? Acetyl CoA carboxylase inactivation by phosphorylation. Okay. And high calorie diet causing what? High calorie diet causing the activation of this acetyl CoA synthesis, acetyl CoA carboxylase, sorry, not synthesis. High calorie diet, it activates, high calorie diet activates for prolonged day or month, years. High calorie diet activates your acetyl CoA carboxylase enzyme, and if this enzyme is activated, causing the fatty acid synthesis, increased fatty acid synthesis. Low calorie intake or low calorie diet inactivates this enzyme. Which enzyme? The rate limiting enzyme of the fatty acid synthesis. This is your acetyl CoA carboxylase, and less fatty acid synthesis. Okay. One thing which I want to add here is concept of compartmentalization. Compartmentalization is what? Your fatty acid, it is synthesized in your cytoplasm, and breakdown of the fatty acid or fatty acid oxidation is generally in the mitochondria. Generally it is, I am talking about obviously the beta oxidation. Okay. So two things: the synthesis of the fatty acid in the separate compartment in the cytoplasm, and breakdown of the fatty acid obviously on the separate compartment in the mitochondria. This is called your compartmentalization. Okay. In the next session I will talk about the procedure or process machinery of the fatty acid synthesis and fatty acid synthase complex.